Good morning, dear students. I'm glad to see you. I hope that you will watch this video. I'm very sorry that there are no students on my consultation today. I don't know what are reasons for this. Maybe no electricity or something like that. But I would like to tell a few words about midterm, about your results, and about our schedule, our plan for the second part of our course. Let's start, and let us start with midterm. A few words about grades. First of all, you solve the problem, and in every option there was one problem. The most student solved this problem successfully. I was very glad to see such good results, even in such difficult circumstances when we hardly had a few consultations, 4 consultations, maybe it is enough, I don't know. Of course, I gave you a lot of materials, you had a lot of information and possibility to study. But in any case, the result when the most students solved the problems and answered the theoretical question was very good. But not all students received the maximum grade. And now we'll go through the problems, and I will explain you your most common mistakes. Let's start with the first problem that was connected with accounting equation. Write down transactions in a journal and write down T accounts. We covered this problem in our consultation, but despite this fact, some students made mistakes in this problem. So the input data are the next. The company issues shares of common stock for cash, and the company purchases equipment. But payment is not at the moment when company purchases it, but payment due within the month. And the task is to write down the changes into accounting equation. It's the first question. The second question, write down these transactions in journal. And the third one, write down T accounts. And let us briefly cover solving this problem. So here we see the first answer, and we see accounting equation that consists of assets, liabilities, and equity. Remember that assets are equal liabilities plus equity. And when we have 80,000 assets, we have also 80,000 equity in our first transaction. When the company, and here is explanation to the first transaction. Cash is an asset. Remember that cash is the most liquid asset, and company issues 80,000 shares to receive cash. So the cash increase in 80,000 from one hand, and on the other hand, equity increases in 80,000 in the form of common stock. Remember what is common stock? There is explanation in my presentation about common stock. The next transaction connected with equipment. Also, equipment is an asset, but remember that equipment is not liquid asset. When assets are divided into liquid and non-liquid equipment, represent the next part of assets that are non-liquid assets. And here we see increasing in equipment, and it's on the left part of our equation because it is assets. On the other hand, we didn't pay for this equipment already, according to input data. So the company increases liabilities. And this sum of money, 7,500, is our liabilities. And also our we have equilibrium, that assets are equal liabilities. It's the answer for the first question in this problem. The second question was write down transactions into journal. And we see that here are two transactions. The first one, connected with accounts cash and common stock. Cash increases in debit because it is account connected with assets, and common stock increases in credit because common stock connected with equity and accounts connected with equity increases on credit. The next one is buying equipment. Analogically, increases in debit because it is account connected with assets, and accounts payable increases in credit because it is connected with liabilities, and liabilities increases in credit. And the last question connected with T accounts, and here we have three accounts: cash, accounts payable, and common stock. And also we have date when there are changes in these accounts. And we see that when cash, the first transaction, cash increase in 80,000, and on the other hand, common stock increase in 80,000. It's connected with owner's equity. Analogically, we can explain every element of this these operations. So here we see interesting thing. Only two transactions in and a lot of approaches how to explain it. It helps us better understand the nature of accounting and understand that there are some changes in accounting equations from the one hand, and from the other hand, we can see some posting to journal, and also we can see changes in T accounts. And I hope that this problem now is more clear to you. The next one was a very interesting problem connected with preparing an income statement. In midterm, there were two problems, two similar problems, but they have one small difference. We'll cover the first one and the second one. The problem, input data, prepare an income statement in the form of table, using the following information for the company for the first quarter, for the 3 months in 2020 year. Remember about the period, the first quarter, which element is redundant, unnecessary, because there are odd elements in input data. And answer the question where a company made a profit. Is it good, bad to the company, and give at least 3 arguments. It's something like creative element in this problem. So here we see input data. We see sales of goods, sales of services, interest revenue, product expense, long-term liabilities, building purchase. The company bought some building in this 3 years period for a big sum of money. We see that this sum of money is much more bigger than all other elements. A utility expense and interest expense. And there is a small explanation that a building was purchased during this year. Company uses straight line depreciation, straight line, remember, and useful life of building is 20 years. 20 years. So building we are not buying for 1 month or even for 1 year. It's for a very long period of time. And residual cost equal 0. It means that all this money, 80,000, will be divided into 20 years, and so it will be 80,000 divided by 20. It will is 4,000. 4,000. Yes, but remember that in our input data there are 3 months period. 3 months. So we are not completing income statement for 1 year. We are preparing income statement for a quarter, and so we should divide this sum 4,000 divide into 4, because there are 4 quarters in the year. Do you agree? And so we will have 1,000 for every year, and for this quarter. And so let us look at our table. Here is all these numbers that no difficulties with them, but some students forgot to put to add interest revenue. Interest revenue is also our revenue, and it increases revenue, total revenue. And among expenses, the most common mistake was building purchase. Some students forgot to divide by 4. To divide by 4, they divided only for 20 or other numbers. Here there was mistake sometimes. And all other expenses and total expense. Here we see this number, 22,200. And net income is total revenue minus total expense. And here there is a explanation about odd element. It is long-term liability here, because long-term and liability connected with balance sheet, but not with income statement directly. So this number should not be included into income statement. And what else? What explanation is here? That due to a calculation, the company net income is about 9,800. It means that during this period of time, the company's revenue exceed expenses. So it is an opportunity to develop and grow as a business. Moreover, net income signalizes that business picked up a right strategy in order to advise its product and service to potential customers. One more thing is that now company may be chosen by different stockholders that are seeking for investing in small and medium business. What about negative moments of our income? Of course, there is in this answer there is no explanation, because it's obvious that better to have net income that have some loss. But here was the answer for your for your thinking, for your for the expressing of your vision of total economic situation. And as for me, I would like to answer that information only from income statement is not complete. We can't tell about the financial position, financial situation in the company based only on one statement. Even if we see now a good result, in order to get full answer, how is financial situation and the total situation in the company, we should see at least other statements, balance sheet and cash flow, statement of cash flow and other, and also understand what is the situation in management and in organizational structure and so on. And only then we can answer the question, is it good financial situation in company or not? And so let us continue and go to the next problem. The next problem was similar, but we had some equipment purchases that should not be depreciated during period of time, because it's trade equipment, and trade equipment was purchased in this year. The company does not depreciate the cost associated with it, but writes off the entire costs at the end of the year. So the one difference is that this problem is easier as for me, because we should put all this sum into elements connected with expenses. And here we see the solution, and I showed it in red, because a lot of students made mistake and forgot to include interest revenue into total revenue. When we put all numbers together, we found the total revenue is 24,000 and total expenses are 25,800. So net income is with minus, and we have some losses. It is minus 1,800. In this period, the company does not have income and has losses. Why? How do you think? As for me, the most obvious reason is that there is a big amount of trade equipment purchase. 4,000 in one period. It's a big amount, maybe for the company. And I think that company does not buy trade equipment every month. And so it's occasionally that in this period there are losses. Because product expense is usually connected with sales of goods. In order to produce something, we should have some product expense and then sell these goods and have sales of goods. But trade equipment, as usual, are periodical expenses, and hope that in the next period this element will be absent, and so it will be net income. And the last problem for today, from the first glance, it seemed to be the most easiest problem, but also some students made mistake in it. But some of you solved this problem correctly. The company reflects so the input data. The company reflects in reporting the following movements in assets, liabilities, and performance. Long-term assets number, cash number, revenue. Now I list the elements. Long-term liabilities, accounts payable, accounts receivable, expenses, gains, and losses. And the task is find out net income, the first one. The second, find out owner's equity. And the third, answer the question, what are gains? Give an example of gains. It's something like theoretical element of this problem. And so how to solve this problem? In order to solve it, it's easier to, for the first step, I recommend to recognize, to understand what elements are connected with income statement and what are connected with owner's equity. So how to find net income? Such elements as revenue, expenses, gains, and losses are connected with net income. Do you agree? Revenue plus minus expenses plus gains minus losses. It is a net income. And here we see this formula. In order to better see this, I showed this element in red color. The next one are connected with assets. It's long-term assets, cash, and accounts receivable. These are elements of assets. Do you agree with me? And elements connected with liability are long-term liabilities and accounts payable. So it's short-term liabilities as usual, accounts payable. And our first step, we found net income. It is, as I told already, it is 1,200 revenue minus expenses 10,000 plus gains 100 and minus losses 50. It's 250. It's our net income. And now our next question is to find equity. To find equity. Remember that equity includes such elements as retained earning. And our retained earning here is this net income that we have found already. And so according to this formula, that assets are equal liabilities plus equity, that includes retained earning, owner's equity is equal total assets minus liabilities minus next income, or how we named it, retained earnings, because it is included into equity. And so according to this approach, owner's equity is equal 33,000 total assets. Let us found it, how we found 33,000. It's let us look at our blue elements. 10,000, excuse me, not blue, but green elements. 30,000 plus 1,000 plus 2,000, 33,000 together, yeah? Green elements, 33,000 minus total liability, it's our blue elements, 10 plus 3, we found 13,000, and minus this one that we have found in previous step, minus 250, is 19,750. How to check if we are correct? remember that total assets are equal long-term liabilities plus accounts payable plus owner's equity and plus net income. Or in other words, total assets are equal liabilities plus equity. And so we see that if we'll put together all these numbers in the right part of this equation, we will have the result that 33,000 is equal 33,000. So it shows us that we were correct, and our approach to solving this problem is real solution. I hope that after my explanation, this problem will be easier for you and you will find the mistakes that you made in your midterm, if you had any. What about theoretical questions? Most students answered correctly, mostly theoretical questions, but sometimes the grade was not 5, it was less, because your answer was very, very short. You did not explain some details or some elements, or didn't give any examples. Sometimes there was a question to give some example, but some students forgot about it. And sometimes there was situation when students answer another question. The question was about, for example, about you should answer about IFRS and GAAP, but then students answered about difference between financial and managerial accounting, for example. I also gave some grade, some points to such answers, but it was not 5, of course. It was 2 or 3. Or even 1, it depends on your answer. And also, I found that sometimes students forgot to answer some question at all, so it was 0 in such a situation. But I would like to repeat that generally students managed to solve most problems, and thank you very much for your work during this part of our course. And now we'll continue. If you will have any questions connected with midterm, please write to my email. I will try to answer you. And now, 1 second, I would like to tell a few words about the next part of our course. I will open Moodle. And here we see a midterm. Here is invitation to our today's consultation. After this consultation, I will put here a video with this conference. And then there are all other topics and all other homeworks connected with the second part of our course. Please pay attention that during second part, we will cover the next topics. such as completing the accounting cycle. And the next homework will be connected with topic 7 and topic 8. So the next homework will cover topic 7 that was before midterm. I hope that you have read already the main material of this topic. Because of lack of time, we postponed the homework to the second part of course for the time after midterm. And it is one homework for 2 topics, for topic adjusting process and completing accounting cycle. The next 2 topics will not be connected to accounting process that is close to entries, to accounting cycle, and so on. These topics have another approach and have another connection to accounting. Here we'll cover accounting information system and internal controls. It is not accounting routine, everyday transactions. It's something like support for accounting. And this topic, accounting information system, is for your individual work. I proposed you to read some chapter from the book. There is a link to the book. Please find this book and read this chapter and answer the question. Also, you can use other sources that you will find to answer questions connected with topic 9, accounting information system. About topic 10, controls, there is presentation, a lot of interesting information in this presentation, but also there are some questions for individual work using book or using another sources. You may find sources in internet or in other books. It depends on your choice. So the homework to topic 9 and topic 10, I hope will be easier for you. At least it will have another style, because it will not be connected with calculating problems or something connected with posting to accounting journals. Let us continue and go to the next 2 topics, accounting for inventory, and topic accounting for receivables. Also, there are presentations. There are a lot of theoretical materials. What are inventory? How can they? What elements are included into inventory, and so on, and also about receivables. I hope that I will record a video lecture connected with these topics, all of these topics, and it will be easier for you to prepare for homework. And but there are some problems, some calculating problems in this homework connected with inventory and receivables. But I'm sure that we will have possibility to have some consultations connected with these topics, and I will help you to solve these problems as usual. And the last one topic that is presented in on the Moodle is long-term assets, also theoretical material and solving problems. And also homework will be connected with theoretical materials and homework and solving problem. Also, there is topic 14, liability and equity. But this topic is mostly for individual work. I think that in previous topics, there are a lot of information for you. And I'm sure that it's enough for you for 20 days. You have only about 2 weeks to study. And it's a reason why I did not give additional material with for liability and equity, and only a few small theoretical questions are included into homework. Also, questions connected with liability and equity will not be present on final. And the last, our lesson, topic 15, summarizing. Here, I will put some economic vocabulary connected with accounting terms. They are not, this vocabulary is not present now, but if there will be electricity, I hope I will create it and add to this lesson in a few days. And the last one that I would like to pay your attention for is our project assignment. Remember that I told you already about necessity to prepare project assignment. It's a work connected with the topic on your choice. Let us open it. And here we see projects for students. One second. Here is information about topics of project assignment. You should to prepare a presentation, at least 7-8 slides if individual, or 10-15 if you work in group, and to cover the next topic. The work, one of this list. The work should be done till 22 of December, till the date of our final. The last day to prepare it is day of final. Please try to prepare this presentation, and it should be a completed work. It should have something like introduction, also have the main material and some results, some conclusions, and also the list of reference, because I think that you will not create this project only by yourself. Of course, you will be found, your work will be founded on some sources. And so please prepare this project and upload it on Moodle. Thank you very much for your attention, and have a nice day.